Today I'll be disassembling the Remington 597-22. Going to replace the hold open pin, hold open spring, and the extractor plunger. I'm going to start out by removing the action bolts here and here. This one's already out. Take out this. Hammers forward. Once you have it out of the stock, there's a pin right here to drop out the fire controls. Push out this pin. Pull the pin the rest of the way out. Tip the fire control box forward, and it comes out of the housing. This is your bolt, your guide rod with the spring, buffer in the rear. To remove the bolt, take out the charging handle. It just pulls out from the side. Remove these two hex heads. They're set screws. Once you take those out, work the action forward to back, and it will start these bolts out until the pins or the guide rods begin to back out. Put your thumb on the spring so it doesn't fly out. Remove the guide rod and then the spring. Do the same for the other side. Once the guide rods and springs have been removed, the bolt will fall out. Tip it over. Now you have your bolt with the channels for the guide rod and spring on either side. This channel right here is where the extractor normally sits, but during cleaning last time, the plunger came out and disappeared in the carpet. So today we will be replacing the plunger, which sits on top of the spring in that channel, and the extractor sits on top of it. Here's the spring. Push it in the widest part of that channel. Insert the plunger. Then take the extractor and insert it into the channel with the L shape down. While you push it down, once you get it to this wide spot in the side channel, you have to push. I take a hex key and push in on the bottom of the extractor, the widest part, and it sets back into a hidden channel. You'll take your hex key and push on the bottom of the extractor, perpendicular to the bolt. Now the extractor is installed. It functions correctly. Before I reinstall the bolt into the housing, I lubricate along the guide rod channel because this bolt runs on that, and I'll lubricate a small amount across the top. Smear it around a little bit. It's not crazy important that you get it all spread out, because as it rides in the housing, it will move the oil around. Bolt sets in. Move it forward. Place in one of the springs. The way I do it is I get one of the guide rods started with the spring on the very end, and work the spring down onto the rod as I push it in. Installing the hold open, it will go hold open pin, then latch, then spring at the front of the mag well on the left side. This will hold open the bolt once you get to an empty magazine. Pin, latch with the hooks up, then spring with the coil up and forward. Inserts into the hole on the magazine well. Once that's all back together, you can see it goes bolt, or pin, catch lever, spring, with the spring hooked on the first gap, and the short leg, and the notch in front of the magazine well. Now that that's all done, press the hammer to make it easier to get back into the housing. Front goes in first, then tip in the rear. Now the reason why we did all that, I decided to clean it about a week ago. I've inspected it regularly, every couple thousand rounds or so. The hold open spring had failed. You can see that short leg of the spring should not cross the coil. It's broken slightly right there on that corner. So it needed replaced. And this was the first time I'd cleaned it in approximately well over 10,000, probably about 15,000 rounds. Just wanted to see how far it would go before it started to fail. At about 10,000, it started to have a light primer strike. What was actually happening was up here around the chamber on the top corner. You can't see it for the lighting, but on the top corner above the chamber had a lot of dirt and dust, and it got gummed up and wouldn't let the bolt fall all the way forward. It would be back just a hair and would make for a light primer strike. Other than that, you can tell this gun isn't babied. It's covered in rust and dirt and nastiness. So that's the first cleaning after at least 10,000 rounds. I would almost guarantee 15,000. And during that cleaning, I was cleaning the channel around the extractor with the extractor in place, and the extractor plunger flew out and shot across the room. So couldn't find it in the carpet, so it was ordered new. Other than that, I've never had any problems. other than the light primer strikes, which was just because of piss poor maintenance, because I wanted to see how long it would take it to fail.